Number 7.
Hopefully he has a really horrible time in prison.
Vickie Jackson.
If you know what I mean.
Yet another on this list.
Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude. Where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels, occasionally I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want.
Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude. Before we get started, check out my Teespring store in the description. I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, tote bags, all kinds of stuff. It's not required, but it's appreciated. Now let's get on to the video. This is from Most Amazing Top 10. And it's Top 10 Alive Evil People You Should Fear in America. So let's check it out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host Rachel Fisher, and today we are counting
Oh
down
my
some
God, that
horrific
voice.
things as always because you guys love it. Like you need more nightmares, but you clicked it, so I renounce all responsibility to your nightmares. I can barely handle my own, okay? From criminals behind bars to the ones who are yet unnamed, join me as I count down our list of top 10 alive evil people you should fear in America. Starting off pretty strong at number 10, we have William Devon Howell. One of the few people on this list that have actually been caught, which means more terrifying things are on the way, just a heads up. In 2003, Nilsa Arizmendia was seen getting into a 1985 Ford Econoline which belonged to Howell at the time. She had no idea that this very car is the vehicle Howell referred to as the mobile. Sorry. After her blood was found in the car, Howell was arrested, but the blood was anything but cold when 3 more bodies were discovered along the same stretch of road in 2007. They prayed that was it until 4 more bodies were found in 2015 in the same area. The land in question is the area behind a strip mall in Connecticut. Investigators finally linked the bodies to Howell after he confessed to another inmate about his garden. Even more disturbing is that he used to sleep next to the corpses as they decomposed before he disposed of them. The most terrifying factor about this man is the fact that the body count just never appears to stop. Could there still be more he hasn't confessed to? Probably. And we might get to that later on in this list. Number 9.
Telling your cellmates about what you did and everything is so dumb. But I guess they're not very smart anyway. And they deserve to get caught.
HAZEL LEOTA Head. Imagine being able to evade the police in this day and age when there are practically cameras everywhere. And perhaps even spyware in our phones, right Google? HAZEL LEOTA Head is just one of the names this woman uses and has been wanted since 1998. She took the life of a man named Charles Barker after conning the widower by pretending she was a woman named Deanna Ray. Barker had lost his wife of 11 years to a drunk driver, and Deanna swept in to save his sunken heart. His family became suspicious of her, but by the time they knew something was wrong, Deanna had put a bullet to his head.
Wow.
His gun was wiped clean, the safe was entirely empty, and his car was found in an airport with DNA on the seat that identified Deanna as HAZEL. However, this was only one of the aliases she used, as she had been married over 10 times. Although HAZEL would be around 72 today, we have no idea what she looks like. She could be anyone, perhaps someone you know, someone who might be beside you on the bus or in line at the coffee shop. Could you be her next target? Number 8, Israel Key.
No, I wouldn't be your next target. But man, that is truly evil. The guy's lost his wife and everything, and she shoots him for his money and stuff. That's nuts.
I can only imagine the kind of horrors that a soldier sees, and it's because of them that I hopefully will never have to. But terrifyingly, it seems Israel Keys brought them home. In 2011, Keys revealed his plan he had been waiting to act on for years. He had planted what he liked to call kits. Only he knew where they were. When he was finally discharged from service, he turned off his cell phone, flew to Chicago, and then drove a rental to Vermont. He used cash for everything so as not to be traced by card. Back in 2009, Keys had buried one of these supply kits in Vermont and decided to use one on a random couple he'd met. His most famous victim was Samantha Koenig in Alaska in 2012. As if robbing her of her life wasn't enough, he taunted her family with texts, photographs, debit withdrawals to make them think that she was still alive. Yep. He's himself admitted to taking the lives of 8 people, though only 3 have been identified to this day. The most terrifying part about this man was his lack of pattern, however meticulously he planned. So that kind of seems hypocritical, but it's like he did it at random to whoever he wanted to, but he also planned it out. So creepy. Though he may be behind bars for now, one day we might find another of his victims, and who knows what horror discoveries that will lead to. Number 7.
Hopefully he has a really horrible time in prison.
Vickie Jackson,
if you know what I mean.
Another on this list, thankfully behind bars. Jackson is still a grim reminder that not all people who seem good are. From December 2001 to February of that same year, Vickie took the lives of 20 people and attempted to steal 5 more. She worked as a nurse in the small town north of Texas for a while when all of a sudden her hospital went under a plague of respiratory deaths. But all the patients who died were elderly, so it wasn't uncommon and nobody thought anything of it. But Vickie made one foolish mistake. No one would have been suspicious until one nurse noticed several vials of mivacurium chloride were missing. This drug is used to temporarily disable a patient's ability to breathe. Why that's even a thing I don't know, but probably for surgical reasons. Then another one of her colleagues recalled how Jackie would often say, "I'll take care of them," referring to unruly patients. Investigators narrowed in on Jackson and she admitted to all the crimes, even though it took until July 2002 for her arrest. So it just makes me kind of creeped out about, you know, people we leave. Like, this one creeps me out because this could be anyone, you know what I mean? And I also hate the fact that she abused a job that is so necessary and so important, and just, you know, terrifying. Don't like that.
Could you imagine if it was your mother or something that was in there under her care? She wouldn't be going to prison because she wouldn't be around anymore.
Number 6, the West Essa bone collector. February 2nd, 2009 would change Christina Ross forever. What started as a simple dog walk ended in a disturbing discovery. She and her dog encountered human bones on a mesa near Albuquerque, New Mexico, which police were shocked to confirm was the case. The bones belonged to women who were reported missing from 2001 to 2005, from the ages 15 to 32. All 11 of the women were in some way linked to street work, save one, and it took examiners close to a year to identify them all. The perpetrator has since been named the West Mesa bone collector, but that's about as far as they've gotten. Dead end after dead end, detectives are stumped and terrified that a killer like this could evade them. The case remains open to this day, and the FBI has had a reward out for $100 grand for information regarding the case for over a decade.
Wow.
I hope this case warms up and this evil person, whoever they are, is caught, but it's still disturbing that someone can get away with something like that in this day and age. Number 5, Jeff Davis 8. Jennings, Louisiana has a population around 10,000 people, probably more now. So for 8 women to go missing only to reappear dead in swamps and ponds around the city within 5 years, it would definitely be a shock. But the case remains open to this day, which makes whomever is behind it someone you never want to cross. But it gets creepier than that because it could be more than one. The woman lived in the same areas, and similarly to other cases, they had histories of street work and criminal activity. They all died of the same cause, asphyxiation, which clearly links them together, but for over a decade, no solid suspect has ever been nailed down. The lack of suspects have led to allegations of misconduct by law enforcement, and there was even a controversial book that was released accusing members of the police force of being clients of the women. Ethan Brown was the reporter who wrote the book and continues to say that the case was mishandled after staff were fired for speaking up. There are a lot of seedy details involving this investigation that clearly make it seem like a cover-up, so is it one person who should be feared, or has one rotten apple spoiled the whole bunch? Either way, I hope one day someone puts whoever is behind this behind bars for good. Number 4, Route 8. I wish wooded areas could be a place of peace and fantasy, but too many criminals have left their bloody mark. Route 8 south of Torrington, Connecticut is one such area, a forest just off the road that has served as a nefarious dumping ground for evil people. Between 1988 to 2004, 4 young women were found, and they were all from Waterbury, which connected them. Now, this isn't one of the cases the police had no suspects for, which is a good thing, but instead they had 3, and they are no closer to narrowing them down. All of them are thankfully in jail for other charges. Richard W. Rogers is one, in prison for taking the lives of 2 men, though he primarily attacked gay men, so perhaps not him. The second is Steve Hayes, in jail for taking the life of Jennifer Hawk Petite and her 2 daughters during a home invasion. However, he is considered a pathological liar. And then the third is none other than William Devon Howell. Yep, the guy we mentioned before. Yep. Remember how I mentioned there are probably more victims? Well, Exhibit C. However, each suspect has a hole in the case, so it could very well be that the criminal isn't behind bars yet. So who should we really be afraid of? And coming up to our top 3, if you're liking this video so far, give us a like, follow, comment, do your thing. You know what we love, and we love you for it. So let's continue without further ado. Number 3, the smiley face killers. Whoever is behind this case is probably one of the most evil people in the world. These crimes are so disturbing that they have even bred conspiracies. Over a 20-year span, over 45 college-aged men have all drowned while intoxicated. Even more strange is that they all occurred in 11 different states. Despite the distances, investigators believe that the deaths are connected by not one, but several people. The one big thing that connects them and feeds this theory are the disturbing smiley faces that are painted near the crime scenes. At least 12 of the men have this in common. Investigators believe that they are abducted, killed, and then disposed of in water, giving the impression that they drowned. Does anyone else think it is a bit strange to connect all the deaths? Potentially, but beyond the creepy smiles, the party drug has been found in their systems, as well as the men are all in the same category: white, athletic, successful, and popular. Whether or not you believe the crimes are connected, these men aren't ending up dead by themselves, and none of their cases are closed, so who is behind it? And number 2, the vanishing women. Chillicothe is a small town in Ohio where evil seems to be at work. The killer is primarily targeting women of the night and those who recreationally use heavy drugs. Between 2014 and 2015, several of these women disappeared and only 4 were found dead, while 2 more are still yet to be discovered. Only 1 man has been brought to justice over one of the crimes, but he could not be linked to the others. But that's the scariest part. This may not be a case of one person being evil, but of several. According to the June 2015 Cleveland Plain Dealer Report, updated in 2019, the town leaders are convinced that the drugs and related issues may play a role in the crime. Police are concerned that this could be a case of trafficking that is preying on women in desperate situations. Many of the women knew each other, work in the same places, which lends more fuel to this idea. Last but not least, man unknown. This last perpetrator still remains on the loose. We wish we could say that these kinds of crimes died in the 70s, like all the rest of them, but sadly that's not the case. In Phoenix, Arizona, there is a terror plaguing the streets. This horrific criminal has taken the lives of 7 people and injured so many with a semi-automatic shotgun. They shoot at random and have no specific target in mind. It could be old, young, male, female, whatever. So needless to say, people in Phoenix are double locking their doors. The criminal seems to primarily target the Latino Maryville neighborhood, but so far police have no leads on who could be the killer. In June, the shooter fired over 30 times where Malia Ellis, her mom Stephanie, and family friend Angela Linner were sitting. Sadly, they all passed away. The only description they have of him, and this is it: light-skinned Latino or white man in his 20s. Authorities are offering a 30 grand reward for any information that leads to the arrest, but so far nothing. And without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I've been your host, Rachel Fisher. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like.
Well, that was top 10 alive evil people you should fear in America from Most Amazing Top 10. Now it's time for the joke of the day. I may have told this joke before, but if I did, it was a long time ago, so I'm going to tell it again. What does a nosy pepper do? Gets jalapeno business.
Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.